Hi there. I've got another vintage Victorinox Swiss Army knife to share with you. And this one's a little different, or at least you can tell it's a little different when you first look at it for two reasons. First of all, it has the old style awl and the cutout in the scale for that. And second, it has no Victorinox shield inlay. Instead, it has a corporate name and a corporate logo inlaid in the shield. And it says Danzas, or Danzas. I'm not really sure which. Let's just say Danzas for purpose of this video. And it looks like it says Danzas Transport with an E in small letterings here underneath. And it looks like their corporate symbol is an old sailing ship, maybe with some clouds or something behind it. I didn't really know a lot about Danzas until I looked them up on Wikipedia. Just some quick research. They were a big freight company, founded in 1815 in Basel, Switzerland. Sold to Deutsche Post WorldNet in 2000, at which time they'd grown to be the world's largest air freight carrier and second in ocean freight. So huge company. I'm surprised I really didn't know the name. But maybe because in 2005 the name was dropped altogether and it's now just DHL Global Forwarding. So it's been folded in or integrated into that DHL brand. But anyway, I like that, and I always like to get something like that on these knives because it just ties the knife back to Switzerland. It's cool to see a Swiss corporate logo or a blade stamping with the name of a shop and maybe a town in Switzerland where the knife was sold. So I date this knife from the early 60s because of the old style bail. Victorinox went to the new sharpened reamer in 1961. They also went to invisible rivets in 1961. So this knife is a little paradoxical in that it's got the pre-1961 awl, but then the hidden rivets. Just conjecture on my part, but I guess they probably went ahead and made a couple style shields or scales in the early 60s. You know, both with for the invisible rivets, but maybe one set with the cutout so they could continue to use up the old inventory of these expensive stainless steel tools. Other vintage features on this knife would be the Victoria Officier Suisse tank stamp with the crossbow. It also on the other side says Victorinox Switzerland Stainless Rostfrei. It says Swiss patent. That's what that cross PAT is, Swiss patent, on their new can opener that came out with in 1951. It has a screwdriver cap lifter with the sharpened curve here for stripping cables, no 90-degree stop. The small blade is the old clip point style. And then finally the corkscrew, you know, is the 5-turn groove corkscrew from that era. Knife does have aluminum liners, but I would say this corporate inlay here is nickel silver. And this is a little unusual because usually you'll see the Victorinox shield inlay and then the corporate name maybe down here. It'll either be printed on or maybe an inlay or maybe it's on the back. So generally you see it replacing the Victorinox symbol in my experience on like 58mm knives, classics and things. So this I think is a little unusual for a 91mm. This is your basic standard Spartan. No toothpick, tweezers, or keyring. So yeah, it's a really cool vintage knife from the early 60s, I would say. I'll be selling this on my Etsy shop, so while I got it out, let me just go over it with an eye toward condition and give you my appraisal of its condition. I would say this knife is in good condition. Not very good, not excellent, but certainly not fair or poor either. It's been well used over the years, and it's a little tired. The main blade is going to exhibit some scratches. And here you can see, but it's straight. And let's see what else. There's not a lot of snap on the opening tool layer. Not hardly any there on the can opener, which is pretty typical. And the awl is a little loose here in the open position. Not bad, but it's got some wiggle. And finally, the only other thing I can really think of is the small blade has got a little crimp in the tip of it. See if we can get the light on that to pick that up. It's straight, it's sharp, but it looks like it was maybe crimped, bent back, something like that. Not a real problem, but it is there, you can see it. Okay, so not perfect, but visually pleasing. You know, I like to say that if you're looking for a perfect knife, there are plenty of them out there. They're called new knives. If you want an old vintage Swiss Army knife, most of them are going to be used. So anyway, thanks. That's just something new that I have. I just thought it was interesting, a little different with the symbol. I really like that, and I appreciate you watching, and have fun collecting.